That's what you're going to be called. And you're going to tell your parents to vote twice. Promise? And then when they put an X, it doesn't even have to be a big X, just a small X next to Tamara's name, so we can make her the next MP. Who wants to axe the tax? We all know that Prime Minister Trudeau is not going to spike the hike. We're days away from April 1st, a 23% tax hike, and he's not doing anything about it. 70% of Canadians have told him they don't want to pay more taxes. 70% of premiers have told them they don't want to pay more taxes, and he's not listening. So instead of not listening, we're going to get him out of the way so we can axe the tax for good, for everyone, everywhere in this country, forever. That's what we're going to do. I'm really excited to have my colleague Blaine Calkins here. I got to spend some time with him in Red Deer Lacombe last year. I'm waiting for an invite. This is my way of telling him I want to go back. Not because of Blaine, because he has a secret weapon, and her name is Barb, and she's amazing. And she allows Blaine to go all over the country and fight for your rights. Fight for you to be able to shoot and hunt without the government coming for your guns. That's what Blaine does for us. He was my seatmate when I first started, and he has taught me so much about how the House of Commons works. I just used to look at him and say, "What's going on now?" And he said, "I don't know." And so we sat there quietly and watched. That's Blaine Calkins. So thank you for coming. And then one of my heroes. That's you. That's still you. Deb Gray's here tonight, and I'm very excited to see her again in Nanaimo, for Tamara to have her support, and for you to know that our conservative movement has a long and deep history, and that we have all built on that history. And the people that come before us have built a movement that is rooted in strength, in freedom, in democracy, in human rights, in Canadian values, and all of those are eroding under this Prime Minister. Here's what I think about this Prime Minister, and I'm not kind to him. If you've ever watched Question Period, you'll know I'm a lot nicer in person. But this Prime Minister believes two things. He believes the government should run everything, and that he should run government. Those are his only two beliefs, and we want government out of your lives. We believe that people should make decisions about how to raise their family, about how to spend their money, about what they can do on the weekends, and we want Justin Trudeau out of your lives, and we want him out of Ottawa and away from the public purse for good. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to axe the tax, we're going to build the homes, we're going to fix the budget, and we're going to stop the crime. And you're going to hear that over and over and over again. And every dollar that you pull out of your pocket to give Tamara today and to give our party today is going to make sure that Canadians hear that message. Axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime. But here's how we got here. And it's a sad story. Like, look around. The whole country is a mess. Everywhere you go, from coast to coast, up and down, everywhere in between, in small cities, in large cities. We have housing. The price of housing has doubled in almost every place, everywhere. The price of rent has doubled. The price of a mortgage payment has doubled. It used to take you 25 years to pay down a mortgage, and now it takes you 25 years to save for a down payment. We have tent cities everywhere in the country. 30 tent encampments in Halifax. Do you know how many we had 8 years ago when this Prime Minister wasn't yet Prime Minister? We had 0. We have them here. We have them everywhere up the coast. We've got people struggling with addiction, and this government's solution, this government's experiment, is to give up on their dignity and give them free taxpayer-funded heroin. We've given up on people. And if you think the model for how we treat those afflicted by addiction, the government has come up with even more ridiculous policy on medical assistance in dying, truly giving up on the dignity of people, offering MAID to those with disabilities and those with mental health issues. And they said they're going to stop until after the next election, but we all know what their plan is. They have given up on people. We have crime, drugs, disorder taking over all of our cities. You've heard this stat. If you haven't, I'm going to tell you. In Vancouver, 6,000 arrests on 40 people in one single year. That's 150 crimes on average per person. That's like going out, committing a crime, having lunch, being out on bail, and then doing it again, and doing it every other day in a year. That's catch and release. That's exactly it. We're going to make sure that we give them jail and not bail. Jail and not bail. Remember it. And here's what's worse. If they actually get any time, they can spend it at home. We call this Bill C5 in Ottawa, but it's called the Netflix bill. They get to go home and watch Netflix while they repent for their crimes and then go out and do them again. The good news is that we don't have that many criminals. The bad news is that they keep committing crimes. So we have a solution for that. We're going to put them in jail and not give them free bail. On housing, this one's simple. We've got something that everybody wants. We've got the power of taxation, and it's time to stop being nice to municipalities. It's time to stop being nice to provinces. All of those meetings that you see in all of those boardrooms in downtown Toronto and in Ottawa, where mayors come out and they shake hands with the Prime Minister and then nothing gets done, those days are over. We have a leader in Pierre Poilievre, our next Prime Minister of Canada, who's going to play hardball. He's going to offer municipalities more money if they approve more housing, less money if they approve less housing, and every infrastructure, all of the infrastructure money is going to be tied to results. That's the way that works in the real world. That's the way it's going to work in the Ottawa world when he's Prime Minister. The other thing is you save every single day. You have a household budget. You make decisions every day about how you're going to spend money. We're going to do the exact same thing in Ottawa. If we want more money spent, we're going to have to find more money. You do it every day in your budget. It's time the politicians did the exact same thing in Ottawa. And that's how he's going to govern this country. That's how he's going to fix the budget. That's how he's going to build the homes. And certainly we're going to axe the tax. These are the things that we are going to put forward in our vision of a common sense conservative government. One that is going to have a strong national majority, because here's the bad news. There's no such thing as a conservative minority, and that's why we need all of your help. 1,300 votes. You know more than 1,300 people in this riding that maybe didn't vote last time. Maybe they didn't have enough. We know that that's changing, and we know that you have to turn your lights on and say that Conservatives live in Nanaimo, that we're here, and that we are here to send Tamara to Ottawa to be one of our caucus colleagues, to speak for you and to get things done for Vancouver Island. We need your help in doing that. We are going to fight on all of the issues that you need us to fight on. We are going to stop the censorship of things like Bill C-11. We are going to make sure that we have affordable housing. And you know where that starts? That starts at the headquarters of the CBC in Toronto when we ask that. We are going to make sure that we call terrorists in this country, and that we put them on a list when they are terrorists. Well, we're going to list the IRGC as the terrorists that they are, so that they cannot intimidate Canadians in their own neighborhoods. We've got to get serious about our national security. We've got to get serious about giving our police the tools that they need to make sure that you're not turning on the TV and watching an embarrassing display of protests in every major city in this country. They need the tools that they require in order to make the arrests, and we are going to do that for them. We are never going to turn our back on police officers. They are one of us. We've got big plans, and those plans are going to culminate in a Prime Minister, Pierre Poilievre, who's got the guts to do all of this. He is the leader with the guts to make real change, with the guts to make sure that Canadians work harder and actually get ahead, that our young people stay here, that our oil gets out of the ground and gets to the coast, built by Canadians, in Canadian pipelines, shipped off to those who need it, to displace some of that dictator oil that is fueling the wars in the Middle East and in Europe. We have sent too many people packing saying that we didn't have a business case for our natural resources. We have enough smart people to get all of this done. We have enough food to feed the world. We have enough natural resources to power us for a generation and displace some of that oil, and we're squandering every opportunity. We are going to build a country that we can be proud of again. We are going to build a country like the one my father came to. My father came here like many other Canadians, in 1975. He came here as an uncredentialed engineer. He drove a cab to put my mom through school, to give us a good education in a suburb of Toronto where we can learn English and French and whatever it is else that we learned. And he did that hoping that he left a place to come to a place that was better than the one that he and my mom escaped from. That is a country. The kind of country that we want to build is the one where you can go from the front seat of a taxi to the front row of Parliament Hill in one generation. That is the kind of country we want to leave to our kids. That is the kind of country that we want to build for ourselves, and that is the kind of country that we used to have. The good news is that life wasn't like this before Justin Trudeau, and it's not going to be like this after he's gone. Thanks very much.